Hey guys, welcome back to the review show. I have a little bit of an update for the channel. There's a series going on that I wanted to bring back, the Big Talk with Austin. This is something I started back in 2020. It was during the COVID stages, and not a lot of stuff's going on. So I decided to create this podcast, and I would try to have a weekly episode, I'd bring on a new guest, and have a bunch of these topics like movies, video games, and all these cool stuff to talk about. And when we started getting back into things, when the reviews started happening, it sort of started falling off, and it started falling off for multiple reasons. One of them, biggest one, it can be busy. I can be busy a lot. I have a lot of stuff going on, not just on the channel, but in my personal life as well. With work and all of that, and so it was something that I wanted to do, just couldn't really do it, and I want to bring it back. And another thing that was really just that wasn't really making the podcast work for me is a new guest every week. That's one of the things, is that I would have occasionally, and nothing towards them if they're watching this. And you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to you, said person that I won't say. They're still great people. It's at all water under the bridge at this point. But at the last minute they would usually cancel, or something would happen. Some stuff you can't really control, but then there's a person that's wasn't there. They wanted to do it, and they said yes to be nice, but then they don't. But then they kind of did not want to be part. They didn't want their face out there mostly. That's mostly the reason for it, which is I can understand completely. But again, it got annoying when it would come to a situation where, all right, we have to record the day before it actually goes up, and they would cancel the last minute and like, oh great, I have nothing to upload for that week, and it got annoying after a while, and so I came down to the decision to not do it, just in general, just drop the podcast. But there was always that part of me that I wanted to do it, and bring it back. So like the big changes that I will be doing with the podcast is that it's the biggest one I just mentioned, not a new guest. So it's like, oh, so is it just me, or am I going to have a co-host? I'm going to have a co-host throughout the series now. Carson, who has been part of the channel in the past. We did the recent video that he's been on was the Exorcist one. I forget the name of the title. It's a pretty long title. The problems with modern day horror. It was originally supposed to be a review for The Exorcist, but then it just turned into something different. It's still a review of itself, but it dives in a lot more interesting stuff. So it was just fun talking stuff about stuff like that with him. And he's been on the podcast as well as multiple times. And so he will be joining me on every episode from now on, unless things change and some other stuff happens. We don't know what the future has in store, if he will be busy or not. In which, speaking of busyness, we're not doing weekly episodes anymore. It's going to come down to one episode a month, where we will talk about everything things that we're interested in talking about that happened that month. So like, for example, this upcoming episode, which will be going up tomorrow morning, Monday, I'm all over the place now, but I'll get into when the episodes are going to go up. But just for example, we'll be talking about, I don't know, like the Steamboat Willie, and how that could really, how you could use the Steamboat Willie, since it's now a free thing that you can use out, like how much you can go with that. There's some Star Wars topics in there, there's a lot of stuff that happened this month that we wanted to talk about, and so we put it all in one episode, and it's a decent length episode, and it was a ton of fun of recording. And also, it will give me a chance to do it in a different way, and not this weird editing way where I had my face and the guest's face next to one another. It's just that it's going to be in a different format, a much cooler format, more of a professional type of format, which I'm really excited for, and it's been fun throwing it together. It was cool to experiment a bit with it, and so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And this will also leave room for you guys to leave in suggestions too of what we want to talk about. We mentioned this in the episode towards the end, that we asked for your guys' thoughts on what things we should talk about. So anything that happens in February, I would like to know if we should talk about it. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter, go check me on Twitter, follow me there. And next, if anything interesting happens, just tag me on Twitter and I'll check it out, and we'll try to get it to work into the episode if we have time to talk about everything that we wanted to talk about. And so, yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to bring this back. And so that also leads into when are the episodes going to be going up? And the episodes will be going up every last Monday of the month. They'll be going up usually the same time as last time, like 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And you guys will still be able to listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and probably multiple different streaming platforms that I'm using, Anchor, whatever Anchor offers, you'll be able to listen to on there. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the podcast, and you welcome it back, and I think it could be fun. It's different. I want to talk about more new stuff. A lot of stuff happens in the background, and usually there's I make a tweet on Twitter, or I mention something about it, or make a short, but I really just there's sometimes I just want to sit down and just talk about it. And talking about it with someone is always fun. I find that more fun than me just sitting down talking about it. Like, I do have a couple of videos where I like my thoughts type of videos where I talk about something, and I don't do those often. Mostly, sometimes I don't have the time, and I'm focusing on editing movie commentaries, or now TV show commentaries, or just movie reviews, whatever is going on at that time. But if I set myself like a standard of like doing a podcast type of deal, it feels like, all right, now I actually have something to push myself towards of working, because then we have to put all these different topics. Sometimes things just happen out of nowhere. It's like, oh, that would have been cool to talk about. I just didn't have the time to talk about it at that moment. And so doing the podcast route really makes it work for me. So yeah, I can't wait. And I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. Maybe in the future, we'll do a live episode where we talk about certain topics live, and next week we get you guys involved in chat or something, and we have guests hop on. We don't know. This could be different. There's so many different things that we can do with this, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and like always, I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye, guys.